but
I just think the best for him is to put it back on him and learn to be accountable.
I get it.
Blushing. And if you look at Justin Bieber as a kid and Rain as a kid, they look exactly the same.
Because that's supposed to be Scott Disick's son.
Yeah, Scott's Disick's son. But it doesn't look like Scott, and Scott even notices.
Did you know Scott asked Kourtney for a paternity test of their last child, and Kourtney firmly refused? Shocking, right? Well, if you have been following the Kardashian clan long enough, you will know that it is no secret that Scott Disick has always doubted that Kourtney's third child, Rain, is his. And after much speculation, the truth about who the real father of the 9-year-old boy is finally coming to light. And as you have all suspected, Justin Bieber might be the real father. How could that be possible, you might ask? But if you look closely at the relationship between Justin and the Kardashian family, it is not so surprising that he might have an offspring there, albeit a secret one, with Kourtney Kardashian. But how did this all happen? When did they hook up and make a baby? Well, it all started with Kim Kardashian's little wish to see 14-year-old Kendall Jenner get together with then 16-year-old Justin.
Met Justin Bieber at the White House Correspondents' Dinner in Washington, D.C. I think actually before that I had said in an interview that I wanted to set him up with my sister, Kendall, who's 14, and then he had responded in an interview saying that no, he didn't want to be hooked up with my sister, he liked me, or something just silly like that. It was a joke.
Kim made it look like it was just simply dating, but fans obviously knew that it was all Kim and Kris's grand plan to suck Justin in, so that he could skyrocket Kendall's up-and-coming modeling career and keep the family relevant. And boy, did Justin work to keep that family in the news. Like, he literally has a thing with each and every member of Kardashian Jenner family. Not a single one is out of the equation. Not even their mother, Kris Jenner. That is so weird. It is just a lot to think he was rumored to be dating Kylie. And then there was also all that steamy talk with someone that sounded like Kendall.
You turned on right now?
Are you?
Yeah, I'm turned on.
How come?
Because you're sitting right there with me.
Oh.
But none of them ended up with a baby for him until it was Kourtney's turn. See, Kourtney wasn't giving enough to the show at that time. Basically, she was losing popularity. Her relationship with Scott was over, and she became, what's that word? Yes, boring. So, what was the best way to get her in the news again and make her relevant? Ha! Yes, Justin Bieber to the rescue. It is hilarious because Justin knew he was being used and was more than happy to play the role of a celebrity savior.
Justin Bieber, 21, getting ego boost from romancing hot mom Kourtney Kardashian, 36, and doesn't care he's being used to hurt Scott Disick.
You're being used, dude.
I'm being used, man. What can I say?
Yes. Anything there? Nothing?
We'll leave it at that.
Okay, I see the look.
But to think they would even have a relationship is the oddest thing ever, given that Kourtney is like 15 years older than Justin. Apparently, age is just a number for these ones. Multiple sources claim they had been seeing each other before officially stepping out as a couple in October 2015. They were spotted leaving a popular restaurant, and although they came separately, Kourtney left in Justin's car. The night was still young for these two, and they ended up hanging out at Universal Studios' Hollywood Horror Night. Sources said they were doing things just friends don't do, and Justin had his hands around her all night. Justin will later get asked about his relationship with Kourtney in an interview, and he tries to downplay it as if it was nothing, saying there was nothing there, and we would leave it at that. But it is giving. There is something there. But I am not saying. And we have proof. To start with, Justin was around Kourtney's children way too much than expected, almost like he was the boyfriend that got along with his girl's kid. And when he started dating Hailey, she made it clear he couldn't ever speak to Kourtney. Apparently, one of Hailey Bieber's rules is that Justin can never keep in touch with his ex-girlfriends, and that includes Selena. So if Kourtney isn't an ex, why did Hailey say he couldn't speak to her? But that is not Hailey's only fear. Hailey was also worried that Kourtney might try to get back with Justin after ending things with her last boyfriend. And it was a possibility, because Justin enjoyed his time with Kourtney a little too much, that he found time to post a provocative picture of him and a woman who might be Kourtney, with a caption that said, "Lord knows," to provoke Scott. Y'all remember Scott calls himself the Lord, right? This explains why Scott can't stand Justin, but honestly, it is much more than just jealousy of seeing his woman with another man. It turns out that Scott is suspicious of the timing of the birth of their last child. Scott, like many others, might believe that Justin could have impregnated Kourtney months before Scott and Kourtney got back together. Plus, it is not looking good because TikTokers are running heavy with this news, making this theory more believable.
He knocked up Kourtney Kardashian, and Kourtney's third kid is actually Justin's kid.
No way.
Yeah, there's 3 evidences, right?
Yeah.
One of them is during 2014, Kourtney and Justin were like dealing with each other, right? And during 2014, I don't know if you know, but Scott and Kourtney, who were dating at the time, were like going through like a rough patch, and they broke up.
Yeah.
And Scott went to rehab in 2014. So Scott was out of the picture for mad time, but Justin was there. And then Ellen was even hinting, oh, was Justin Bieber part of the process of the baby making?
Justin Bieber help with the kids at all, or?
No, only
That's the rumor. I know
friends.
you're friends.
Yes.
Why are you smiling that way?
She's blushing. And if you look at Justin Bieber as a kid and Rain as a kid, they look exactly the same.
Because that's supposed to be Scott Disick's son.
Yeah, Scott's Disick's son,
Yeah.
but it doesn't look like Scott, and Scott even notices.
Interesting.
Then there is also the fact that Rain was the kid Scott never really wanted. And when he even found out Kourtney was pregnant, there was not a single drop of joy oozing from him. He was just not happy with the news.
I just wanted to tell you that I am pregnant.
Alright, I thought you...
Scott might have acted that way because he knew he and Kourtney were not in a good place in their relationship to have more children, and he hadn't exactly been around that much for them to meet up and make a baby. Then whose baby is it? Scott was probably doing some math then and would later ask Kourtney for a DNA test, which she refused. Surprisingly, she had one when she had her first child with Scott. And now that she is refusing to do it again for Rain, everyone is super suspicious of Kourtney and Justin. Again, the timing is really what gives this away. Rain was born on December 14th. He was conceived 9 months prior, which tells us Kourtney took in around March. March was a difficult month for their relationship. Scott was battling depression and seeing other women, so he barely had any time to really get down with Kourtney. It was also the period she and Justin were hanging out a lot. Even Ellen knew there was more between them. And even if timing lies, looks don't, because Rain is the spitting image of Justin Bieber and looks nothing like Scott.
We're friends.
The strongest piece of evidence is how shockingly similar Rain and Justin look. Before I even knew this theory, anytime I would see Rain, I would think, he looks like Justin Bieber. If he grows out his hair into the Bieber swoop and starts singing Baby and sounds just like Justin, I'm calling Mari. It's actually so fucked up because any video online of Rain gets flooded with comments about he looks like Justin, Rain, Bieber.
But if you look at Mason and Penelope, you would see that Scott genes are firm with them. So why is Rain different? What is Kourtney not telling us? And can Justin really be okay with another man fathering his child? This is a lot to take in. Scott has tried multiple times to get Kourtney to fess up and tell him the truth, but she has refused to say anything and has continued to insist that Rain is his child. But Scott's trust issues with Kourtney run deep because he knows that she hangs out with these other guys whenever they fight to get him jealous. He suspects that was what she was also doing with Justin, and believes they must have been doing much more than being friends. It is even more difficult for him because Kourtney still refuses to do a paternity test, and it looks like she doesn't care if he believes her or not. Well, the internet is divided on this issue. One fan tweets, "I saw a TikTok a few months ago, and it was a theory that Kourtney Kardashian's son Rain could be Justin Bieber's because they look so much alike and the period adds up or whatever, and I absolutely cannot unsee it. In my head, that is Justin's baby." On the other, some fans think it is entirely ridiculous to believe that Justin and Kourtney have a baby. The fact that people actually think Justin is the father of Kourtney's baby is so dumb. So what do you think? Is the strong resemblance between Justin and Rain enough proof that he is the father? And do you think Kourtney will ever admit it? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you don't want to miss out, make sure to subscribe to PopPlug, and if you want to know why Kylie Jenner called out Selena Gomez after their Golden Globes feud, watch this next video.